curiosity why.
Mad Bricks Webcast,
Where the human spirit flies. Mad Bricks Webcast, where the human spirit flies.
Hey, welcome to the Medbix webcast. This is Raman Anam-Raju. I'm the host. That music, one of the, I love that wakes you up, all of you guys. I hope that music. But then I'm going to present a topic very close to my heart. It is truly inspirational to me. This is I may be controversial when I say this. This is maybe my indirect frustration or something. Technology is science, is the fundamental of the basic sciences. Technology is a theft of science, basically, indirectly. There is a theft of science is technology. That's technology. So you don't have to. Where is science? Science is public. So to pay for the science, you have to pay to the public or you bribe. One of them things unfortunately happens in this world. But anyway, bottom line is I'm truly excited about this one. Is I tell you, I have a lot of personal connections with the presentation that I have. But without a further ado, Rama Pullela. I'm always having a hard time with last name Pullela because I grew up with all of them. There is so many variations for this webcast. But let me bring first my podcast co-host, and she's evergreen, Dr. Susan Davis. Welcome, Susan. Welcome to the Medbix webcast.
Why, thank you, Romana. Thank you so very much.
So you're fully ready to go. Tell us a little bit about this, your journey into the new American Heart Association journey, a little bit briefly, if we can do that.
Sure, very briefly. Well, actually we have a connection to tonight's to Dr. Palala, our guest tonight. She's a pediatric intensivist, so she deals a lot with hearts, as do I. So as the Woman of Impact for the American Heart Association, I'm just bringing awareness to the fact that the number one killer of women is heart disease. So more than all of the cancers put together, women are dying of heart disease. So part of this campaign is just to make sure that we bring awareness to that. We talk about it a little bit more and do our best to help women in preventative care for anything to help them with their heart. So I'm very pleased to be part of that campaign. So that's what we're doing.
Congratulations, a well-deserved honor. I'm going to present a topic entirely a little bit different, but it's kind of connected with you. We are from the same state, so we can talk a little bit about it in that sense. So I am.
Well, I will be off camera just for a second. Something is happening with my computer, so I'm gonna fix that and then come back on camera.
I put you on the side. Yeah, you
Okay.
sound. Yeah, if you want to go to the restroom and come back, yeah, please. This is a very good information for even for pediatrics in that sense. I went to school there in Bhimvaram, India. I don't know whether you know Bhimvaram city town where now my Ramya is from. So this is where I went to school to study physics. Susan. So Navya, you want to come down on this? Fine. So I used to go to this. What is this? I wrote a letter to particularly for this space launch in India. At the time, there was a Pakistan and India war going on, and then I wrote a letter to the the government of India. So we want to visit as a physics students. We want to visit this place, and they allowed me. Surprisingly, they allowed us during the middle of the war because we are physics students and they want to encourage us. So I took the trip. I took so much pride inside of that to visit the space center. When I was when I came to this country, first thing I took my children to space center. They hated it. So it is my privilege, but it is a really fantastic experience. My father was a space enthusiast, and I loved that space. Something inspired me inside of me to study physics. Really, space is a very, very enthusiastic. But space is a separate mission now. It is an enthusiastic in enhancing life, exposing space and enhancing life. NASA Human Health. It is a human health is actually there's a mission going on, and this is a people don't know this. For example, the coffee cup you're doing is a styrofoam cup. The styrofoam came from space, the heat shield. So that is there is a lot of inventions came from space. I'm going to talk about how he is going to help the mission. Artemis 2 is going to the moon soon, in few days. They're going to the moon. They're not landing on the moon. They're going around the moon. You know, there is two, three, four individuals: Jeremy Hansen, Christiana Koch, Victor Glover, and Reed Wiseman. These are all going to the moon. That is where they're going to stay most of the time. In the right side, the one you see a big, very small space. It's like a small room, 10 by 10 room. I don't know how they can stay there for 10 days together without bumping each other. It is very fascinating. So it's ready to go, ready to be launched. They're not landing on the moon, they're going around the moon a little bit. Why they're doing that? They want to test. This is a very interesting, why I'm interested in this one. There is a gentleman, his name is Jeremy Hansen. He's from Canada, and his wife is Catherine Hansen. Dr. Catherine Hansen came on my podcast a couple of times. Dr. Catherine Hansen was wonderful lady, wonderful guest. I interviewed her on my podcast. She told me it was so much pride, Susan. They told me that the astronaut watch my show, sometimes. Thank you, Catherine. Dr. Hansen, is an honor for me, more than anything. My father will be turning in the heavens. So thank you so much, Dr. Hansen. Please come back. I know she responded to me such a hectic. They are all probably in Florida. Waiting for they're all already sealed up. They're ready to go. So she must be in Florida. And she, in fact, with all this busyness, she responded to my email. Thank you, Dr. Hansen. She has her own right. She's an OBGYN doctor. Both are from Canada. She came from Cold Lake. I used to make fun of her. You don't have to go to the moon to find the coldness. You can see the cold in Cold Lake, Canada. So here it is. She's from a cold place. Thank you, Dr. Hansen. Thank you, Mr. Jeremy Hansen. I want you to have a beautiful trip to the moon and wait for the call. We are going to wait for the call from the moon. This is Dr. Catherine Hansen. She came on my show. She was she's Empowered Circle. She has this podcast. And then one of the things she said that to me, it was stuck with me. She said that curiosity is the stress. When you feel stress, nowadays, I feel a lot of stress nowadays. I feel stress. Curiosity is the best solution. Don't even worry about it. Become curious. It is a stress buster. I truly follow. To be honest with you, that is my mantra nowadays when I'm under stress. But anyway, so thank you, Dr. She is a menopause expert. She is a OBGYN doctor, and her husband is an astronaut. So they came from Canada. It's a big shift from Canada to here. Thank you. It is a truly an honor for me. So how does Artemis 2 mission work? It's actually it is human performance mission. This is a medical mission. A lot of people don't know this. Artemis 2 is a medical mission. It's not a space exploration. It is a medical mission. They want to know how the humans are performing during the space flight. That is the main thing. particularly long distances. So it is a very, they use a very strange physics, not a strange physics, is very, we know, you take a frisbee and you throw it out, the frisbee goes around and come back to you, right? That's one of the things we do in the swimming pool and all those places. That's exactly what they do here. They throw they use escape velocity. They need rackets to get out of the earth. So you need 22,000 miles per hour. That is the very fastest way you need to get out of the earth's gravitational field, and then goes around, and then gravitational energy itself takes it around and then brings it back to the earth. This is like a frisbee throwing it around. No energy required, only direction required. So it is a machine. Humans and systems is a checkup. That's what it is. This machine is a purely medical mission, indirectly is a medical mission, is not anything else. People didn't know that it is a human performance mission. What they're testing, this is one of the, if you are testing, this is the place to test, where there's no special consults, no specialists, no emergency room, no ICUs, no imaging on demand, no pharmacies, no ICU backups. What do? When you go to the Mars or any place, interstellar distances or interplanetary distances, this is, if you answer that questions, we have a lot of questions. We have an abundance in the earth. We can solve that problem. If you answer those questions in space, we have a lot of solutions actually for the earth, a lot of access and quality and care. So what they do in space? The first and foremost is physiological monitoring. They're going to monitor heart rate. And most important is, actually people didn't know this, heart rate variability, the real usage came from space. Russian Mir space station really did that, invented that heart rate variability. So heart rate variability is between the signals, the frequency between the two beats. What it does tell you a lot more than just the beats, how infrequent these beats are. It tells you autonomic function test. It gives you a very of a state of the health of the person. Heart rate variability, one biomarker can tell you a lot more about that patient. That is where it came from. It came from space. With all the constraints, they found out the fluids, the sleeplessness, all the circadian rhythm. They're going to monitor hydration, fluid shifts, oxygen saturation. All of them they're going to manage that there. Apple Watch came out of that heart rate variability system. Actually, heart rate variability is actually discovered a long time ago, but actually they found out the real value of the heart rate variability in the space. Now, HRV changes dramatically in microgravity. You can see the huge contrast in the heart rate variability in the microgravity. Microgravity means there is still gravity is everywhere, but microgravity means almost gravity is nothing there. Fluid shifts, how the nervous system is functioning, stress and isolation, mental, psychological pressures, workload, and human critical systems. So heart rate variability is a human critical system. So they're going to wear something like not much more sophisticated than Apple Watch, but it is. Then another one is a cognitive loading. They're going to do cognitive neurobehavioral testing. How do you reaction with all these things going on? How do you focus? There is a mission controls. There is a lot of variabilities are there. How do you control these missions? Reaction time, how fast you are, attention and focus. These are all neurobehavioral testing. They do that. They perform structured tasks. They tell you this is the task here. They can measure through all the processes how you are attentive, how you are focusing things. Very strange. It's a purely medical mission, this is. So the attention and focus, decision making, under fatigue, and stress and workload tolerance, they're all going to test those things. One of them actually came back from space. is a neurofeedback system. Nowadays, neurofeedback is a training program, brain training program. That is how you can move from beta waves to alpha waves quickly, from calm you down. Rama is one of the great idea for Dublin area to put a brain cafe. I'll give you all these things. If the mothers can come, children can come, you can calm them down within seconds by using these new technologies. It's a very interesting, it's a cognitive load, isolation, no margin of error. You cannot have a lot of margin of error is not there. So one of the things they're going to test is how many human and machine, AI and humans interactions. Human is at the center. This machine is not testing AI, it's testing the humans, how they interact with AI. That's the most powerful one. The next one is one of the dangers in the Dr. Hansen. I'm not scaring you. You know already, you're a doctor, Dr. Hansen. But radiation exposure is one of the things. Is a biology is one of the riskiest one. Higher cosmic radiation, because there is no magnetic field. It doesn't protect you from the radiation. Solar particles constantly hit the satellites and hit the spaceship. So what is this? They can damage the DNA. Then that they so that's one of the things. It is, I don't want to say too many things about cancer. Is one of them. Is outcomes in this one, and they become a short out. They age faster. They become short. Actually, there's a small. They become shorter than before. Osteoporosis is one of the things. So, what is the benefit came from the radiation exposure? We come to know how to do the MRI CT scan much better. See, so photon by photon scintillators detection, we know how to do that because in space. Noise reduction algorithms we develop in space are using for the contrast agents like MRI, CT scan images. So that is where really the radiation things we test. Space is not a waste of time to going there. So the last one, I'm going to tell you this one. So what is then space they do? One of the very powerful drug is a immunotherapy drug. It's called Keytruda by Merck. So Merck makes this Keytruda immunotherapy drug. It attacks the TB cells. Maybe both of them can talk about it more than I do. But what is a big change? What they did in the Earth, most of the crystals are flattened out because of the Earth's gravity. When you go to the moon, when you go to the space, these are three-dimensional structures they form. So when you form a three-dimensional structure, the interacts the molecules much different. So what they found out is, if you do that, just giving a simple injection is enough for Keytruda, then you drip into the hours and hours through the other process, infusion. That's a direct advantage from space. The Keytruda advantage is that you can give injection, can go home. Here is, if you don't have that, so space gave us a beautiful science. Protein crystal growth is a big science. Protein crystals in the growing in the space. So the next one is, actually, this is a very interesting story. There is a guy got a NASA grant, and then he was how the plants listen to the music or listen to the light. He was testing it. So Rodney Ignatius, his name, he's in Wisconsin. He was testing that. He gave a small grant for him. During this time, they were working on the plants, and their hands are getting cut sometimes. So they're healing so fast. They're working with the lights, LED lights. The healing is done at accelerated pace. They were surprised what is really causing the light healing the wounds. What they found out is that is a pulse radiations. The light therapy came out of that one whole thing. This is called photoceuticals. Then the FDA approved for fibromyalgia. They approved for it, actually, the phototherapy. Not only that, they can give a contrast agent, Susan, and they can give a contrast agent, light sensitive, and then direct to the cancer cell and blow it up there. They expose the light there and blow it up. This is a new kind of a science is coming up. It's called photoceuticals. It's a fascinating field is coming up. So it's already, you can buy these things in there. This is a much better, I don't know how old are you. I don't know, you must be, I don't want to talk about this both women's age, but I can tell you is a new technology came out of the NASA spin-off. It's called menopause clothes. These are the temperature, automatically regulated temperature. It came from the NASA gloves. They manage the temperature because hot flashes, I don't know much about menopause, So this is a thermocules, they call thermocules. Tiny polymer shells. They're all designed it. You can buy them now, actually, 51april.com. These are for women, we are going through severe menopausal issues. You can do that. Temperature stabilization, phase shift it does. Amazing spin-off from the NASA. So there is a Aerofellow, if the doctors wants to continue, even the nurses can go there actually. There's a 2-year fellowship in the UCLA and the NASA and a Mayo Clinic. You can do the aerospace fellowship there. If you want to do 4 weeks clerkship, you can do that at those places. 4 weeks clerkship is also available. So Mayo Clinic and NASA, UCLA offers this. You have to be family practice nurse, nurses, family practitioners, emergency room, ENT surgeons, they're all available. That is available, that fellowship. So space is ultimate. What is space? Space is ultimate test for the human biology. We are putting the humans in a place that is impossible to survive. That's we are testing the limits of human survival. So I created a human MedBricks ultimate test for health systems. MedBricks predicted a human care capacity and the healing index. These are 2 tests. I use the same NASA physics to test the healthcare systems, health of healthcare systems. I did briefly mention to Susan, but I came up with algorithms. I use the same kind of physics and mathematics that develop that indexes and tell you whether this particular healthcare plan is going to survive or is doomed to fail. It is centered around the humans. Even the NASA is not, these AIs are a little bit noise people. You cannot avoid humans. Humans has to be centered. NASA is not dumb. NASA is putting us humans at the center and the technology on the interaction there. It's not putting AI first and the NASA humans next. So I always say that science is technology, technology people, technology is a theft of science. They're not paying anything back to the public. They're bribing now. Unfortunately or fortunately, whatever the system it is. So you cannot leave the basic science. That inspired me as a kid. It really gave me to see the wonders of science. My father was a village doctor in a village in a small village. That gave me so much. I can connect to the space and the medicine together. That is my truly inspiration for me, personally gratifying. That is the world I want to return, not the greed and, this noises so much. Just go to that human, particularly human generated, that intelligence, and then that wonder about science and the curiosity about science. If you create the humans that way, the world is unlimited. When we create a greed, there is nothing is enough for greed. Everybody is unlimited greed. Everybody wants everything else. There is no satisfaction there. Thank you for watching, all of you. Welcome to the MedBricks webcast. So NASA is a new frontier in medicine, telemedicine, disease models, psychological stress response, nutrition and aging, all of them. our one next wonderful lady is coming up in the next week or so. She's one of the world renowned nutritionist and the medical doctor is coming on the show. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Rama. You are. Let me bring you back. Rama, you can tell about a little bit ECMO. So this is the NASA's my journey to, the Rama, if you remember or not, Sriharikota is located in Andhra Pradesh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for the space launching station.
yes, that's right. Okay, now you can talk about anything else. Susan, you can make a small comment and then we can go from there.
Well, I guess I was thinking, Dr. Palella, the whole time. It was a wonderful presentation. Thank you, Ramana. It's neat to know what's happening in space and to connect all of that medical. It doesn't seem like a very big space for all those people in that little capsule. But I was thinking, Dr. Palella, I know in my work often, especially, we'll just use Ramana's presentation, it's always about adults. And I notice in my work and in healthcare systems, it seems like the majority of conversations are adult care. And then kind of as an afterthought, it says, oh, and does this policy refer to the peds? Oh, well, is this part of the peds conversation? Do you find that? I mean, you are in the pediatric world, so perhaps your whole world is pediatric. But I wonder, does it seem like there's enough forefront attention to pediatric needs in healthcare systems? Is that a weird question?
I feel like, see, not every big hospital has children's hospital, right? Most of the time I feel like we do get, as pediatricians, we're not in the forefront, like, basically, like just the fact that the number of pediatric hospitals are much less than a number of adult hospitals, and pediatrics is always a part of the adult hospital system, even though like the whole way we operate operationally and clinically, things are so much different. I wish pediatrics got more more recognition as a specialty by itself. And even in drug trials, for why, for obviously reasons, everything percolates to pediatrics at the end. And I mean, unfortunately, even the billing and like how things are reimbursed, pediatrics gets reimbursed very less. And as a reflection of that, actually, a lot of pediatric residency programs didn't fill pediatricians, because it was like pediatricians are getting less popular because of all these reasons. But I just feel like, I think pediatrics should get more recognition. There should be more willingness to recognize it as a specialty itself, and give appropriate financial stability to run all these pediatric programs. So and of course, as I said, like even within the ERs, within like the most urbanized Bay Area, you don't find so much pediatric expert. There are few pediatric centers where everybody has to go. So like, for example, in Kaiser, the pediatric ICU for the whole Northern California, there are just 3 centers, like Santa Clara, Oakland, and so
I agree with.
I think
I
pediatrics is
agree
more
with that reimbursement. I agree with the reimbursement side, Dr. Rama. Thank you so much. Another thing is, I want just very briefly, my mind time is getting over. 1 minute, both of you can explain to me. You're talking about ECMO. I don't know exactly what that is. I just, less than 30 seconds if you can explain.
Go ahead,
Rama,
Doc.
go ahead.
World.
Dr.
Ramana,
Rama,
it's basically heart-lung machine. It's a heart-lung machine. So
okay.
you just bypass your heart and lungs and run it through the machine.
Yeah,
That's
so
a really wonderful.
Issue,
the
but
very sickest patients, young and or adult. Yeah. So sorry, we probably should have clarified that early on.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rama. You're sick
you.
and